You're live.
Whoa, look at this. Got the hot glass going on some graphite because we wanted to make a giant amoeba. A giant squid. Actually, we're kind of testing something with pattern. So I'm going to show you what that's all about. But it's pretty cool. Looks like a waffle pattern. We did some patterns last week with a metal frame. And this week, we're going to test it a little more. Now, I got the heavy brick out. Chris said he doesn't like that. He's concerned about cracking the graphite. But I wanted to show you because what it's going to do is push it in the cracks and get the pattern even more. Welcome, everyone. This is The Gathering Point, a live glass blowing show that happens every week here on YouTube and Facebook. We test different things, show you different concepts. This is for the possibility of a class we might do.
All right, so let's flip a couple of these up. You want to get a close-up of this being flipped over, Shell?
Oh, big flipper.
Rock solid.
That looks pretty cool.
This is our recycled glass, so it is a light blue in color. When you're testing or prototyping something new, you don't use your most expensive quality. You test it, and then you move forward. Ah, interesting. I say very, very interesting. All right, if we leave those out, they will shatter and break. So we
I
were
think
testing
Bess
some
would
patterns.
have glass shooting at her at the tech support area.
We probably don't want that.
We don't really want that.
And wait, what does she have going on right here?
Oh my goodness.
My little assistant, who's really good at cleaning my hand, apparently.
The wrist cleaner.
Eating your wrist.
That's hilarious. You must be salty. She is a climber. All right, Miss Etta's watching the show. Looks like we're live here on all channels. And before you take that away, Jake, I just wanted to show people this is made out of clay, but you roll it in the sand. It's a meditative piece, and you get all these patterns. So that's what we were trying with the glass. Could we do some sort of glass version? Just seeing if graphite was a pattern or texture we'd want to use.
Is that your scrapbook, or is that your inspiration book, or what do you call that?
I don't know. It's like my inspiration Bible.
Did you put this together?
Yeah, over the last 20 years.
Very cool.
Jeez. You see where all the artistic mojo comes from. Look at that.
Right? So the pattern, so that will take us to our next piece.
We had a little bit of quilt inspiration a couple shows ago with Sue Schmidt's inspiration idea. You could see that shared interest, a little mushroom, a little fungi, a little mycelium. Ooh, that looks like a cranberry twist cup right there, ladies and gentlemen.
And some flowers next to it. So that leads me to the Uglee Vase,
Ba-ba-da-ba.
which isn't really that ugly.
Why don't you show these off first so that
Yeah.
I can show the color, and then I'll go start preheating them for you.
Okay, this is what we're going to use. There's some greens in there. There's a little piece left over from the tuxedo vase, some clear and some whites.
And
A swirl from a pumpkin.
a separate side note, this particular piece here is what has burned my shoe.
Oh,
Right there and right there.
Oh.
I hacky sacked it. We were doing a happy hour. We had everybody here, and it fell off. I put a handle on the mug, and I caught it like that, and then it dribbled off the side and still broke. But anywho, it's getting recreated into beautiful artwork now.
All right, this is, and I say it with love, this is my Uglee Vase. I love, it's like the moon. I could call it a moon vase. But I just think it was so unique that any type of flower you're going to put in it, it's just going to be adorable. So we're going to do my version of the Uglee Vase.
No, just put it right on
And
top
we
of
got
that.
those glass shards, is what we call them in the art industry.
We want to do it on the marble because it
But
doesn't
they're
fall on the
actually,
floor.
we want you guys to come up with a name. Help us think of a name. We said nuggets, but nuggets isn't like a super technical term.
Look at all those nuggets.
Yeah, they're not there yet. So, like we've been doing the past couple shows, the pastorelli has to be heated. If it's not hot, there's no way these things are going to stick. So we're going to do 2 base colors. The ultimate goal is to have these pieces be sticking off the side and just real bumpy and textural. And it looks like I pulled plenty of glass.
Perfect amount.
They're going to line it up. Don't let it roll
Make sure that
off.
curl doesn't roll off of there. That's a cool one.
And then Jake's got to be the master balancer to get it in the glory hole.
Really beautiful color, whole color theme on the Marver right here with the slight hint of green from the tape on the tools, the wood, the ugly vase, the flowers, and the greens of the stems. It's a pretty beautiful...
The black of the burnt paddle.
Yeah.
See, we are so coordinated here. All right, Jake makes it look easy. That paddle is nice and heavy, and for us shorter folk, not so easy to maneuver.
So I'm just going to keep heating it, and you're
You're going to pay attention.
going for the vase.
Michelle, you're going to you had a certain color picked out for the vase.
Yeah, Jake put them in the tins.
Gray. That beautiful gray there with maybe recycle underneath it or clear.
So the burner is on the left.
Is that gray?
See?
Transparent gray?
Yep.
There. And it's blowing the hot air right on that. I hear some of the bigger pieces cracking and snapping, but that's okay. What he wants to do is kind of wet them out. And wet them out means soften them so that the next part will stick to them. Chris has taken some of the hot glass and he's going to dip it in the frit color. So that's going to be the core, the base. And then those nuggets that Jake's heating up are going to get attached to the side and left 100%.
They're still
bumpy.
exploding, so don't get too close. But I'm just going to tuck them all together a little bit while he goes for a couple of heats to melt in his frit. And hopefully...
even the greens don't even look that green anymore.
No. So I wanted to show them to you guys briefly before getting going because we knew the colors were going to look different while they're hot.
We've already got a ton of people in the chat. Corey has a question. He says, watching from Pinckney, can we call the shop if we have questions about an upcoming class?
I'm not sure I heard the full question.
Yeah, so Corey says, can we call the shop if we have questions about an upcoming class?
You can, but know what we're all doing the show, so no one's there to answer the phone. If you want to call Tuesdays and Thursdays between 1 and 6 p.m. is the best time to call. But even if you want to get your question answered now, you can put it in the chat, or you can go through the website and hit us through the contact. Of course, the phone is ringing, so that could be the person right now.
We've got, let's see, Mary Lou says hello. Pam says, glad I got
You
home
ready
from
for it
work
on this
early
heat?
so I can
I
watch
gotta
in real
gather over
time.
this.
We've got
You can squish them together
Linda's
if you let-
here.
little bit now
Robin
with the
says
tweezers.
hello. Sharon says hello. Patty says happy Tuesday from Commerce Township. Helen says hello, watching from London.
Yeah.
Nice.
I heard Manchester City's got a big game coming up. I know a good friend of mine's big into that soccer team, and I didn't get a chance to look at her text before the show, but they got a big game coming up. If you guys are soccer fans.
Are you here, Carrie?
So Chris is going to gather over this. It's going to be a clear encased color pattern, and I'm going to keep heating this. And since I got a moment, I'm going to rotate it around one time with the tweezers so that now this side's completely flat and melted. I'll be able to heat
All right,
the other
so the
side.
cool thing is if you're watching, we super suggest putting something in the chat. Bess is there to answer with Sophietta. She's there to answer any questions you might have
Oh, thank you.
or tell us, and we'll answer that. That's the cool part. It feels like you're watching TV, but it's interactive TV like you've never known before.
So talking about the design of this, Michelle, you don't want those melted in, right?
Correct.
So that I need to have the vase partially pretty much necked and designed, and then I'll pick it up on the finished shape before we punny it. Okay.
And then when
so
you
I'm going
punny
to do
it,
that
it's
right
just a
now.
quick
So you might be
open.
able to hang tight on that just for a few
Linda
minutes.
says, why aren't those pieces too cold now that they've been sitting out?
This piece down here, this thick metal piece, is holding a lot of heat. It was in there for quite a while. It's keeping it warm on the bottom, but they're definitely cooling down too. You can see some of the greens starting to show up a little bit more.
Thank you.
But that's what we were just mentioning and figuring out there with Chris, is that he's still got a little ways to go. He's gathered over it. He's got a really deep gray and some sparkly aventurine gold on top of it. And now he's encased it in clear. And he's going to need to take 2 or 3 heats and start to blow it out into a little bit of a vessel, because you don't want to layer them on right now and squish them all in and have it just be pattern. We want a little bit of ugly texture on there.
Why don't you,
Bulbous.
we could probably go ahead and,
You said take a heat or what?
yeah.
It needs to be a stick so that color will stick.
Over on the YouTube side, we've got Carol saying hi from Sarnia. We've got
Yeah.
Susan saying hi from Indiana.
Woo!
Icarus says first show back in Michigan. Glad to be back.
What up?
Thank you. That was not nice. I can see it sparkle all the way from over here.
All right. These will
You
probably
come out, I'll heat it up.
Yep. Just nestle it right there.
Hendrika says watching from the Netherlands. Hello.
Tweezers. Thank you.
Corey says if we want to do one of the classes where we help make the glass piece, can we sign up as a couple with a guest ticket, or we both need to purchase? So if only one person wants to make the piece, then you will need one full class ticket and one guest ticket. If you both would like to be hands-on
Way
and
to
each
work
make
it.
a piece, then you will both need a full class ticket. So it depends on what you'd like to do. Sharon says, greetings from Walvis Bay. I'm looking right now.
So this is going to be a members only piece, folks, and this is the first attempt at it. Michelle's idea stemming from the Uglee Vase. But next week we are going to plan on making some of these during the week and having some for sale. So Chris is giving it the first go. This one will be for sale. We plan on working with some different color palettes and giving you some different ideas to choose from as well. It's looking nice.
It looks really cool though with all the little pieces on the outside.
It's got a lot going on.
Walvis Bay is in Namibia, which is in southern Africa.
It's looking cool.
So we've got a bunch of different continents. Julie says hello from Australia. Hello.
Did you tell them where we are and who we are and what the deal is and when we do these shows?
We sure can.
Below, Jake?
So we are here at the Glass Academy. We are located in Dearborn, which is right outside of Detroit, Michigan in the USA. We are in the Eastern Standard Time Zone, so we run for 2 hours every Tuesday night from 6 to 8 p.m. EST. And we blow glass. We love to answer your questions. We love to make cool things. I like to run the tech here with Sophietta.
Just kicking it with the cat, answering questions, having a good time.
But it's a blast. We like hanging out with you guys. We like hanging out with everybody from all different continents and countries. It's really cool to see everybody come together for 2 hours.
And this is the warmer-upper, so we do these shows every week, and this warmer-upper is usually a little bit experimental, and it's made to our subscribed members, our Loyalty League members. It's made for sale. First grabs at it. But after this, we are technically, and we're trying to get more themed with our shows, this is going to be a goblet show. We don't have Matt or Oliver here with us tonight, but we do have the garage on. And we're going to be making some fancy ball-in stemware, folks. So
The
get riled up.
Garagian. Does that sounds like some type of a cool, like, brunch dinner plate or something?
The garage is on.
Yeah. Get a little
Say it real
side
loose.
of some au jus with that.
Krista says hi from Meyerton in South Africa.
Woo!
We've got Sharon that says hi, I'm still here in Livonia.
Sharon, what the heck? You're the jam. So Chris is still over here just working on it, but we got a table full of product that Michelle was going through there, and as you guys know, that's what supports what we do here, as well as memberships. We make glass to sell it for a living. And are you ready for a punny then?
Yeah, I'm just going to heat these few pieces that had a little bit of a texture on them. I don't want them to be sharp, so if I heat them a little bit, I'll let you give it a flash shake if you want. Those pieces will kind of cure themselves so they're not super, super sharp to the touch, and they're smooth and elegant, kind of like that breakfast meal we were just talking about. Barnacus. That's right.
Sounds
We
pretty
gave it the
hardcore.
Barnacus technique.
Which light? Did we wipe off the camera? Doesn't look like we did.
Over on the YouTube side, we've got Karen
Excuse me,
saying hello
everybody.
from the UP, Michigan. Dave says, on our way back from Oklahoma and stopped in Iowa just so we could watch the show tonight. Dave, we always appreciate you. Hello from Iowa. Angel says, hello from Formosa, Argentina.
Ooh. We were just talking about Argentina last show. We were talking about going down there. It would be super cool. And didn't you just meet someone from Costa Rica last week
Yeah.
that owns a glass studio and invited us down there?
Yep.
Who does? I don't know anyone from Iceland.
I would love to go to Iceland.
All right, punty.
They're really pretty.
I had to pull a little bit of an audible here because both of our larger counterweight punnies were used for that, you know, drippy glass action at the beginning of the show. So I gathered about twice as much as I normally would on this type of punny and shaped it up the same, but it's really going to hold its heat a lot more being a thicker situation like that.
But for those of you out there watching, I'm going to ask you a quiz question. You can put it in the chat.
Uh-oh.
We got a nice big punty on a tiny little pipe. So what is even more important than having the big punty that has to do with using a smaller or a bigger pipe? Answer that question in the chat, guys.
Can you rephrase that one more time?
Bunga, bonga, 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 bonga. Thank you very much.
If they get it right, they're champions.
Hendrika says, thank you for easing my nerves after a hectic day. It's a relaxing thing to watch you guys make beautiful glass objects.
Yeah.
Talk about using the end of the pipe.
I was going to say,
This is gonna be a
it's right
beautiful
there.
piece. Jake, can you bring
Ah, the wall.
Jake's been known to move walls, folks.
All right, so the top doesn't have to have a huge hole. It just has to be able to get a couple flower stems in. I like the look of like one really tall fern leaf coming out of it so you can really enjoy, facetiously I say, the ugly vase.
Becky says, greetings from Martell, Nebraska. Linda says, is it centerability or the ability to get it centered on the punty?
That's pretty close, centerability, but really, I'm going to let a few more come in, a few more of the things that are the determining reason why the diameter of the punty rod itself, not having to do with the punty of glass, the chunk of glass on the end, but the diameter of the pipe is something that's important when you're working a bigger piece of glass.
Carol simply said, what did you just say?
Bonga?
What with a bunch of question marks.
Bonga, 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 binga.
Do you guys like that,
bonga.
that set change Jake brought in the backdrop?
Yeah, the whole time I was wondering if it's actually a wall or if it's a fence. What do you guys think?
It's a wall fence.
Man, she doesn't stop licking.
She doesn't.
That's crazy.
Is it, are you salty today, you think?
How's your salt levels today, Bess?
I did have sunflower seeds in the car, so that could be it.
Oh, you're
that's
going into the
definitely
1
it.
pound bag?
Jeez.
Getting your
Yeah.
coating of salt on your hand? She's loving it.
Jake, could you show us a real Sophietta?
One real Sophietta? Yes. Yes, I can.
So this is what the cat
Let's
is
see the
named after.
comparison.
Sophietta?
About the same length. Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
Sophietta's blowing in the Sophietta?
What do you think?
Incredible.
You just saw it only on the gathering point, folks.
All right. So here we are. Doing it up. I'm not going to give him a paddle. I don't think he wants it.
I don't.
I don't know. We're going to have to do a photo shoot of this. It's super cute.
Yeah, can you hold it up next to this one when you're done?
Well, I'm trying to keep it a little bit more organic
This
up on the
one's
top,
sweet.
you know. Kind of looks like that, doesn't it?
Pretty darn similar.
So I am going to get it to just get a little special up here. Going to
Don't
have
be
a special
crimping it or
moment.
don't do anything weird.
What?
Don't be crimping it or do anything weird. I saw
What?
you. I'm asking you to stop.
Chris is called
Can you-
Torch Champion on this one.
All
Do
I'm
the
doing is
GA.
making it what it's supposed to be made. I'm not adding lib.
Don't forget the GA
I'm not changing
symbol.
it, but it is completely uneven and kind of botched up there at the top. So I'm just heating it up so I can straighten it out a little. That's all. Look.
It's the Ugly Vase. It's not supposed to be even.
Well, that
and
one's not
symmetrical.
at the top.
All right, you want a stamp?
Yeah, maybe. Do you get approval for that first? The bus is coming. I haven't been run over by the bus in a while, you guys, so sometimes it's kind of nice to provoke, to get the engine roaring.
This is how we sign our work. It's too difficult to sign each piece by hand. So we have made a brass stamp and a small little nugget of glass. And then you push down, and it's kind of like how cows are branded or animals can be branded. It puts the letters GA for Glass Academy right in the side of the piece.
Got some bus emojis in the chat.
From who?
Got some bus emojis in the chat from
Oh,
Carol.
bus emoji's coming.
So did everyone say it was a fence or a wall?
Nobody said anything.
Oh, that's cool.
They're just not, they don't care what's going on, Jake. You're
That's
just
great.
moving a fence
I have
around.
a fence from Carol.
Okay, thank you, Carol. I appreciate you.
Wow, this is blinging. I don't like that I can't keep it for me. I picked out colors I really like.
It's tough.
What if I said,
Tough when we got to
oh,
support the show in the
It-
slow season.
it didn't make it, and it
I
came
know.
out with
No,
me.
it's going to be for sale because you already said it.
Yeah. Going to the Loyalty League members.
Loyalty League. It kind of sounds like the League of Justice.
You ready to knock it off
The
then?
superheroes.
Dana says she is adorable. I hope she's out and about when I visit in July. If she's not out and about by then, we will for sure make sure you meet her, Dana.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
yeah.
it's a slow nibble of how we're trading her because when Batch came to the studio, we built the studio as Batch was here, right? So Sophietta's walking into like a whole bunch of stuff. So right now we're just
So I just
socializing her.
grab it
She
with the
doesn't need
claw
much
maybe,
help
or
because
glove it?
Probably
everyone
glove
wants
it.
to pick her up, and she's super good about it. So we're getting her used to people, getting her used to being around the heat and the noise.
You're
And
gonna knock it on the
soon
lip
she
and
will
we'll torch
have
it or no?
Yeah.
Run
Okay.
of the warehouse.
Patty says it's a defense during hockey season.
It's what?
A what?
It's a defense during hockey season.
That's
Somebody
Truth.
brought up Red Wings?
I love that. Rangers had a horrible game last night, but they're gonna improve.
Yeah, they did.
Not cool. All you hockey fans out there know what we're talking about.
Now I know it's super hard to read in this picture, but you're gonna see it.
Pretty cool.
A picture of it. It's super cool. There's so much to look
Don't
at.
touch the bottom
it's
with
so
the gloves.
interesting. All right, it's too hot to touch.
Where are we going with it?
Number 2.
Next step is to the cooling oven. This is called an annealer. It's 900 degrees. Looks like a refrigerator box, but it is actually hot in there.
Yeah.
Pretty
That
sweet.
one little section looked like a piece of like a lime or something.
Or something.
Yes. Beautiful. I love it.
All right.
That's a nice warmer upper.
Okay, they might be using the garage. This is a holding chamber. It'll get nice and hot inside there. Next up is goblets. So while these guys are figuring out their goblets, I'm gonna go show you the table.
All right, we got some beautiful products on the table. We'll draw up the first goblet being made.
We've got
Okay.
3 minutes before the table goes live.
Hey, Ellery, you wanna give a wave? There's Ellery. She is the newest member to the Glass Academy, and guess what she did? She's doing this awesome writing that tells you more about our products, and she set up the show. And check that out. I didn't even have to tell her. Most people are right-handed, so when you put the mug on display, you always put the handle to the right. She just intuitively knew that because she's amazing. All right, it is not a real golf ball. It is actually a glass golf ball. If you have a golfer in your life, this is a great item. There's the little GA stamp that I had talked about. Okay. Some of these items are products we feature on our website too. So when she says more colors on website, this is just tonight's sample. This is the Tornado Cup. We really like this diamond mold, so you will see a lot of products with this. Super reflective, it's really cool. But there's also a lot of stripes that we do. So these mugs are all handmade, one of a kind, handles, all glass, cold beverages only. And we're going to be making goblets on the show. I don't have a lot of goblets in the gallery right now, so that's why we've got these items featured. This was a new technique that Jake did on the handle here. You can see it's kind of raised and bumpy. And it's also this like glittery gold color. That's just like beautiful color pattern. So at 6:30 when the show goes live, Bess will put the link in the chat. She's going away because she's going to put the cat away so she can focus on the show.
I'm going to make sure she has access to her litter box, but she'll be back for housekeeping.
Oh, yes.
Sleepy. Look here, Jake's drawing up his cup top. Jake's drawing up his goblet top. We're playing the old goblet game that you all know that's backed by popular demand called the El Switcherulo. And that's right, folks. I know you all know what I'm talking about, the El Switcherulo.
Classic game.
And Jake's going to make his goblet top and put it in the garage. Then I'm going to make my goblet top and put it in the garage. And then he's going to have to make the rest of the goblet and use my top to put it on. And I'm going to have to make my goblet and put his top on. So that way you're working against a design that each one of us designed something different, which is kind of cool.
It's a cool idea because I had a full idea for the goblet I was going to make, but at this point now, it's kind of like, let's see what Chris is going to be giving me and then maybe design the stem and the foot to be proportional and to look correct and even be the same colors that he's using because I don't know what he's going to use.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny, like if we didn't say Chris or Jake and people turn their TV away, if they'd be able to distinguish your voice.
How easy nowadays is it for people to turn their TV away? Is it a flip of a hand?
I guess they'd have to turn around, huh?
See what I'm doing here is I'm going into the cranberry, folks. This is the color application. You see how it sits in a tray like that? I'll bring it over to you, and it melts into the surface.
I'm doing a conscious awareness not to get too near the heat so the phone lasts.
It's going to be a tough one with goblet intricacies today, too.
Well, I'm just going to lean in. I'll go in.
Okay.
She's just leaning in.
Right.
So he's preparing to use a optic mold. That one looks like it's a 24 rib, or is it an 18?
I think it's 20.
Could be a 20 rib, and it's actually a traditional Venetian brass mold, where we've got a lot of aluminum molds that are made here in the United States, but the Venetian Italian molds are super, super nice when they're brass because they hold the heat a little bit longer, and they're really designed for doing production glass blowing, which means a lot of repetitious, so they hold the heat and it doesn't chill your glass down as much. Jake's getting ready to go into it.
I'm going to give it the Super Blast.
He's going to give it the Super Blast. It's kind of like the super elastic bubbly plastic, folks. Here he goes. He's got it nice and hot. He's keeping it in control. He shuffles over. Boom. So there you go. Now I know I can't sit here now because he's going to come out and want me to do some bench blowing for him. I'm going to do the Squaticus Maximicus move, which is no bench blowing chair available at the moment.
Who needs it?
It's good for me to just do those squats. I might even jump down and do a few burpees.
Some extras in between.
Yeah, right before I do the bench blow.
It says, is that dad and son?
Blow?
It is dad and son.
That's what I was saying, and their voices, sometimes they're similar.
Good.
So I was just blowing air into the cranberry vessel with straight ribs that Jake's making, the drawing that he made on the floor that Michelle already showed you guys.
And it was kind of a funky one. I like doing more ribs like that because if it was just 12 ribs and I'm using the jacks on the outside to make this shape, the jacks would really want to fall, those long blades fall into each of those 12 ribs. So by having more smaller ribs, it allowed me to make that like washboard sound but still get the shape really nice.
You just wanted to hear the sound.
Huh?
You just wanted to hear the sound.
I did.
Some would say that that's the chatter of the glass blower.
Cabbage.
So you are seeing a little bit of a cranberry color on that body of the cup top he's making, guys. And for the rest of the demonstration, you'll hear us, instead of calling it a wine glass or a goblet, we call it a cup. And it's like, that's kind of a name of a goblet
puff
that glass blowers use when I'm making cups.
Blow.
Hey, if you are new to the show, I want to remind you that we do this every week. So if you miss a week, you can go on YouTube and all the footage is stored there.
There's that portion of the glass. And I will say for the first goblet of the night and figuring out how hot the hole is and getting our tools right and everything, it's a little bit on the thick side, so keep that in mind just in case. We're gonna add a Maurice onto it here and flip it around. It's also, which I'm sure Chris is already thinking about, a little bit on the large side. So this could be like a beer goblet or something like that, and it will likely, unless he wants to get radical and crazy with it, it's probably gonna have a shorter stem. Drinkware is super about proportions, and we talk about all the time in our happy hours here, custom drink nights, and we do custom orders, and when I get a chance to talk over the table over there, we'll talk about it a little bit as well.
So this is going to be just a Maurice?
Yeah, no, we can do a one-parter, right? Or is it an Avolio, right?
It's an Avolio, correct.
Yeah.
So for those glass blowers who are watching, Dave,
There's no glass blowers watching.
I wanted to say that I'm using the special channel paddle.
Hold on.
Not very many people have the opportunity to acquire a channel paddle.
Squish.
But this is a one-of-a-kind, state-of-the-art channel paddle.
Cool.
Well, there it is, folks. You saw it all right there. Nothing like the good smell of plywood.
It's classic, absolute classic.
Couple people have already commented how much they love that color.
Oh, it's the best. Cranberry. It's number one.
Yeah, that's the most expensive color there is.
Yep.
I don't know.
Supply
I
and
think
demand.
Adventurine might be a hair more.
They're darn
really
close.
Yeah,
The gold Adventurine or the green?
gold.
So if you guys are new to the show, let us know in the chat. But by now, you might be wondering why we're taking so many flashes back and forth. A flash being a reheating of the glass. And that's because this is real thin, down to the point right now, we're about to flip it around. You're gonna see me just tap it with these tweezers, which are already preheated because I've been touching the glass here, touching the pipe. But they're still cold enough that if I just touch the glass right here in maybe 3 different places,
Hey,
I can
who
break
got
the
that
piece.
Opa!
Pick it up.
What?
Oh, never mind. When I'm looking at the camera, I can't see. I'm staying. Yep.
No,
I think, do we know why that one might be, folks?
Let's see that punny.
No, it doesn't have to do with the punny. I think it has to do with the plywood.
you think
Plywood
it might have been
mojo.
Plywood?
I think so, because I
Yeah.
squished that on there pretty good. I even pulled it off a little more.
Yeah.
You know?
I do always recommend
It wasn't
knocking
a
it off
hardwood.
before it starts getting hard. But
wasn't
now
the
you got the
hardwood.
pipe ready for me for mine, right?
With
What,
a
you get
layer
to do
of
yours
ash on
after
it.
mine now.
All right, go ahead.
Ah.
Especially when you're working with goblets, folks, it's a pretty precise process. And I did particularly bring out this
Grip?
brand new paddle for tonight's show and pre-burnt it a little bit too.
Pick
So
up
that's
the
what I'll be using to paddle
Pick it up
Chris's
with the
Avolio.
tweezers and look at the Avolio.
Perfectly
say.
smooth.
Yeah, really smooth. All right, Bess, what kind of questions you got in the chat? Anything?
Not really a ton right now. Dave says he'll have to build a channel paddle and give it a try. John says watching from Dearborn Heights, close enough to almost smell that plywood. Alexis says, got my tuxedo pin, love it, thank you.
Yay, that was super cute. We had to fight the staff off for that one.
I got this one, it's good.
John
I
and
don't like those
Sharon both agree that there was some treachery going on.
No, not here.
All right, so there's glass blowing for you. If you guys are new to the show as well, it's just kind of the part of the process. You can't get frustrated by it. It's only our most expensive color, and we'll move on to the next one. And Chris looks like he's going into
Wait
the
a
gray.
second. Wait a second. Could we save that and put it in the Uglee Vase for next week?
Totally could.
Oh,
The pink themed Ugly Vase, absolutely.
that's one of our main missions at the Glass Academy is we recycle and upcycle all kinds of stuff. And there it is, case in point. 238. So never fear, we will make more here.
We'll make more what?
Here, I met a woman yesterday in Sierra Trading Post who's a poet. She was pretty poetic as she was talking. That is not a skill I have.
Poetry?
Yeah. Or like rhyming. Remember Joe Smith? He could like make anything into a jingle.
Oh yeah, the rapper rhymer.
We're going to try to bring him back for like the 300th show or something.
December 31st, I want y'all to mark your calendars. It's our 300th show. We're going to be in high heels and tuxedos.
That's pretty crazy timing that New Year's Eve is our 300th show.
We're going to have to like sell tickets and have it be like champagne dinner. We could do a food theme, cooking food with glass.
Yeah, something. It's going to be a blast.
Good.
So Chris is working with this gray. This is not a color we pull out frequently. It looks like it's almost looking like lemon yellow.
Lemon yellow.
Good.
Looking like some kind of green at the moment. So I'm going to have to think about something that might go really good with a nice modern gray color.
That smoke gray, it's beautiful.
We do some really great clips on Instagram too, if you follow us on Instagram.
Well,
Bess is catching some really nice things during happy hour or some of our classes that she'll
okay,
post.
Avolio.
We have class
over the top.
Oh no, I'll drop it on. I'll put it on hot.
If you guys live in the area, you can drop by. We've invented our own classes like no other studio. The spirella mushroom, the meditation globe. There's a great variety of classes.
Flip.
For our Loyalty League members, the Uglee Vase is available through your link that you have received.
Woo! Paddle. Good.
Jake was saying that was a fresh new paddle, and you can also tell it's a new paddle by the smoke. Once
Dave says, oh, sorry, I didn't hear you talking. Dave says resin in the plywood must have brought in the treachery.
Probably. That's probably exactly it, the treachery.
All right, Punty.
All right, I feel like I've been here before, but the color was different.
We've had a couple people asking the guys about their shoes.
Our shoes?
Your shoes.
Well, my knickerbockers are knickerbockers, folks.
Yeah. They're checking out our style tonight.
Seems like it.
You want to check out my shoes? What? It's summertime here at the Glass Academy.
It's getting hot. 80 degrees yesterday. It's kind of cooling down a little bit more, but we're getting into the sweaty glass blowing portion of the year.
Getting to it. Popsicles are in the freezer. So we've got a new setup. I don't know that we had this camera last year.
Deep flash, and I'll take her back.
The other camera we had was on a tripod, so we do have to be aware that the camera gets warm. So I'm kind of staying a distance and zooming in, which is kind of fun.
So what you guys just saw right there that I like to do is I like to knock the piece off when the punny's super molten and moving, and then Jake or your assistant at the time flashes it deep and brings it back, and you preheat the tweezers and straighten it up. Anytime you're knocking a cup off and it starts to get stiff, it's a little challenging. I've lost a lot of them that way, you know?
Totally. And the thinner you get, the reason we love having a goblet show and the Venetian style of blowing glass is as difficult as it is, because the thinner you get, the more room there is for treachery. And you heat it up and it heats up and it condenses and thickens up so much quicker, and it cools down and stiffens up that much quicker as well. So you got to really be on top of your game and do everything you do with pointed control. That was the pluck and trim. So he opened it up and he cut off the extra glass there, pulled it out real thin, and cut off the extra lips. He's got an even lip. He also made that cup a little bit taller there too.
I want to thin the top out with puffing a little. Then at that point, I'll flare it open.
That's a pretty fancy new paddle. Who made that one?
That guy did. We got a lot of them stored in the back, and this is a big paddle, but it's pretty nice. It'll last a long time, and they're cherry wood, if you didn't know that. Super important wood. Now, I pre-burned it a little bit to give it a little bit of a stickiness to it, and it'll probably get burned a little bit more and start working a little bit nicer once that happens.
So traditionally for goblets, you use a smaller paddle, but it is able to cover the surface of the whole opening, so it's really nice.
Yeah.
So this is a good move with this particular shape that gives it that nice bell shape at the top. You let the top flare out a little bit and you get the whole thing hot.
Nice move. Working with gravity, hanging it down. It's got a really natural shape, and the tiniest little angles of not having that be perfectly smooth really stick out to a trained eye or an untrained eye, I would say. I'm going to need to flash it one time. It's been in the garage, but I'm going to flash it once. And you start to see that gray really showing out now. Just like the tweezers I was talking about when I tried to break mine off, having the glass, or having cold metal on the glass will crack it.
All right, now we put that in the garage, which is preheated over there at 1,000 degrees, and that keeps that goblet top hot while Jake's making his cup top, and then we're gonna do the old switcheroonie.
Switcheroonie.
Those aren't hot, so I didn't move it over to the side yet. Gotta flash them.
All right, they've got lots of pipes up in the pipe warmer. The heads of the pipes are all sorts of different sizes. So some are thin, some are thick, some are small. And you pull out what you want depending on what type of piece you're making.
I like the density of 2 coats that we did last time. This is a really soft color depending on what color you're using. Oranges or yellows are really stiff, and if they're opaque or transparent, having a larger grain like this will show a more spotty effect. But when I know I'm going to be stretching this glass out so thin, and I know this is a pretty fairly soft, transparent color, I'm happy to use a larger grain to make a denser color in just 2 coats. I also got a little bit less glass than I had last time because I thought, and I mentioned that it was a little bit thick. Now I know what's going on. I'm going to be able to blow it out, stretch it out a little bit thinner, and make it a little more elegant of a goblet shape. A little bit of a swing. It's got a nice even wall. You want it to expand in the mold at exactly the same rate all the way up through the whole piece. Otherwise, you're going to have hotter and colder spots, especially like Chris was saying, where this mold's only been used 2-3 times now, so it's not fully heated up. It's pretty chilly, and it's going to affect the glass when you go in there.
That's why they're asking about your shoes, because I'm zooming in.
Oh, because we're hitting the
When
mold.
it's in the mold, they just see your shoes.
Yeah. Is the table live then? I do see a cranberry mug going off the shelf. Really cool, brand new product up on Heard Ellery. Went for the 18 situation. There goes another one, a beauty.
Yeah, because some of the people, like, we're having more success with our one and done products. They want something original that no one else has. And so
You guys want something
yeah,
original.
the customers want something. So
You guys.
on the show, we're going to feature one and done. These are unique.
Well.
We're not making batches of them. There's a couple items that are similar on the
Good.
website. But these products will stay live on the website until
go even a little
next
taller.
Tuesday, at which point they come down and the next week's show is put up. So I should watch QVC. We were talking about that. I don't know what they say on QVC. 5 items left. But I mean, they count it down, or they're
Oh.
like, we only have 2,000
Good.
units. 197 have sold.
Thank God we don't talk like that.
And when you're making a thicker piece, you guys probably noticed that when I was making that first big jumbo thick piece with the piece that one Michelle designed, I didn't have to flash it as much as the goblets because the goblets are way thinner. So they cool off way quicker. So that's why Jake's jumping up and down, and I was when we're making these goblets.
Cap it.
All right, Chris is blowing.
Bam!
Jake's expanding it.
Cool. It's a little squattier than the drawing, but I like the shape. It's elegant and cool and tasty. And really beautiful pink to it.
It is the beautiful pink.
So let's go right back to where we were. And this time, maybe another thing that could have caused the issue on the floor over there is that by doing the tweezer move here, I'm not on a flat surface. I've got these ribs, 20 of them there, so I was really only touching 50% of the surface when I was touching it with the tweezers.
Wonder.
With the what?
I know one or two of you have said that things are going in and out. If things are going in and out for you, I'm working on it, but nothing on my end says it has a problem anywhere. So I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going on.
One sec. Mm-hmm.
We
Push
will
hard.
always post the full recording
Mhm.
on YouTube after the fact
Beautiful.
as well, in case you miss anything.
Yeah, I gotta watch Mr. Gimbo.
Mustafa says hello from Turkey.
All right.
Wow,
Hey, hey,
Turkey.
hey.
How many countries do we have tonight?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I know of in the chat.
All right, if you guys are from somewhere that you haven't spoke up yet, put it in the chat.
Actually 7. I forgot Canada. That counts.
It does. This is so fun. We are in Dearborn, Michigan. The easiest way to remember where we're from is the home of Henry Ford. Henry Ford, Ford Motor Company, made all the cars. This is where Henry Ford was born and raised, and where Ford Motor Company's headquarters is at. It's about 3 miles down the road.
So we gave it the compensated super squish, and I'm gonna put water on the neck this time. Thanks.
Do your
Yep.
phone. Do you have switcher on your phone? So then, yeah.
No one move special.
No, working with, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
you know when Lino was working too, his bench was closer for the goblets. That extra 1 or 2 steps sometimes makes a difference. And speaking of Lino, this Thursday is the movie.
What movie?
The Lino movie. That's debuting in Seattle.
Who's Lino?
Lino? The movie
Yeah.
of Lino? Tagliatella Petra?
Yeah, I'm asking for the people.
Oh. Lino is an Italian master who came over in the late 80s, early 90s, and he taught some Americans how to blow glass in the Italian style. This was super unheard of. He got in a lot of trouble for coming over, but he was persistent and continued to come over and teach the Venetian style of glass making to the Americans. And considering all the changes in the world and the glass shops in Murano closing, I am so thankful he did. They're having an honorary movie for him, documentary that's being presented this Thursday. If you follow us on Facebook later in the week, I will put the link to the movie in the chat. The movie's debuting in Seattle, so we do not have access to it, but there is a streaming link, and I don't know what time it's going to stream, but we're definitely going to be watching it ourselves.
All right, so that's cup top number 2. We got a pink one that's that shape, and we got a gray one that's this shape. And now...
Yes?
Now we get to get buck wild and make our stems, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, I know what I'm going to do, so I'm going to draw it up so you guys can see it, since I'll be going next, and then you'll draw yours up for yours.
Beautiful.
I love it. All right, here we go, folks. I'm adding on to Jake's drawing here with a stem, and I think I'm going to do a optical ball with a turkey leg. But this is the Vaughn for my blown foot. Jacoby, yeah. Pink blown foot.
Nice. The matching optic mold on a smaller scale. You can't use these larger molds here for a smaller bubble because the neck would blow out too much. You'd have a really thin neck and you'd have a thick bottom to it, the neck being the part closest to the pipe. So getting a little bit slimmer, that tiny little bit of difference makes a huge difference in how the bubble actually blows out.
So I'm gathering up a lot tinier of a gather for the stem. And you always got to remember, and it doesn't really happen until you've made a lot of stemware, but you really got to think of the proportions. The proportions are very important so that when you do stick the piece together, it all comes together. The sizes look good together. And I do know the size because I just saw Jake make it. Getting a nice symmetrical bubble here. So like I said, I'm doing a turkey leg underneath an optic ball. I'm gonna do the straight optics, I think, because we got straight optics going through the whole piece. Then we're gonna add those adventuring jumper handles, which are always fun to do. They're not easy either, but Jake and I are learning them together, and it's great because he puts them on almost darn good as I do, so it's amazing that
it's really cool.
We're learning together.
Having used this adventuring color for handles too, because it's not a color that can get really hot.
Because when I was taught, there was no torch like that. But it makes total sense to use it. Why not?
Yeah. Yep, it's a beautiful thing. Big paddle, small squish.
See how I pull that out? It actually shapes the turkey leg a little bit more. So then you can go back in and Jake will paddle it when I have my jacks on there, and it'll flatten up real nice and be proportionate. You don't want that bottom to be bigger than the mass in the middle.
Well,
The other thing I do when I come out, you guys watch when I get ready to put the jacks on there, I'm gonna tap the bottom of the turkey leg so that it's not a screaming hot connection when Jake paddles it, because if it paddles it and it's too hot, it'll want to stick to the paddle. And that's a fairly new paddle, so if I chill the surface a little bit first, watch. Take my jacks, tap the thing back a little, and then Jake's gonna come in right now and lightly add on there.
I mean, I'll take a screenshot of that.
That's perfect. Look at that.
I mean,
all right, we're gonna have a blown pink foot now, Jacoby. So Jake's gathering up a tiny gather. He's going to do the matching pink foot. And this is a nice project, I mean, nice process, you guys. Watch how Jake and I like pass this thing back and forth to each other at the bench so that we can get it blown out nice and hot and keep it hot for the drop foot.
Some serious timing. There's got to be some serious efficiency. And just like we were saying earlier, blowing thin glass, it's like the drop of this foot is probably more important than anything else on this goblet to get it on good, and for Chris to be able to open it up and flare it out the way he wants and have it a proportional size and shape and thickness.
We don't want it too big. If you remember, the top of Jake's design, and it was made exactly the way he drew it, is a smaller diameter. It's not spun out like mine and open wider. Jake will be able to get away with making a bigger foot with my cup, but not with his. So here we go. He's going to sit down and he's going to actually blow. Stop. Blow. Good.
Give it a little extra heat so he's got time to put this on. He finishes the shape. We're going to hand it back.
Now
Nice
I got my
DP.
tweezers ready. He's going to bring it over. You guys got the perfect view right here. I won't stand up and block the camera with my noggin. Here he comes. Up he goes. Lightly puff. Good. Stay.
All right. Delicate punny coming up. But not too delicate, because we're still going to have to add a whole cup top onto this, adding the weight to the leverage of the situation.
And the handles.
And handles. Son of a gun.
No fun.
Mm-hmm. Little bubble on the tip of this. You think it's okay? Let's take a look at it.
It's fine.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. Bullseye.
Thing's straight as heck. It's about as straight as
So
it
now
could
he
be.
flashes that deep, guys. I heat my tweezers up here on the moil, and he brings it back to me so I can straighten it up, and then he's going to go start my handios.
Hand to use,
Perfectly on center.
I'd say.
So you really don't want to heat the top of your stem up too much, because you want to make sure that you got an air opening still, and you just want to make sure it's smooth so that your stickum bit connects properly to the Avolio. But he's bringing me over. He's going to go for it. The Adventurine handle.
Tureen gold. Do 2 quick coats, maybe just one.
One coat's going to be fine.
Perfect. Get it just enough that it's melted in, but not overheated, and here we go.
Steady.
Here we go. He's going into the air. This time he's pushing it back up against itself, and the cooled glass instantly as he touched it is what's allowing it to have that sticky action, that kind of like whatchamacallit action. Inchworm
Sticky
action.
Inchworm. Sticky inchworm access.
Something like that.
All right, that was round 1. Round 2 is coming up.
And so all I can do in this scenario is bring Chris the exact same thing.
And I can only hope that I can match this unbelievably amazing thing.
It's easy.
Look at that thing. Look at it.
Get ready. I saw it. All you got to do, that's like a serious
You can't
puzzle
overthink
piece
it. You just
situation.
gotta
Muscle
Gotta
memory.
roll.
Just do it the same. Super squisher. Great. Beautiful. There. Yep. Perfect. That's it. Adventure. Shits. Nice. Oh, we go up top.
Yeah, we go for the. Right. We got to move over to the take.
There.
So he's moving you guys over there so that it preheats the left side of the other side. You right and you the left. Once there, just in a seconds, I'm going to take them.
Okay.
I'm pre-and the heat on my nice little stick. That stick is going to be a little. So take it over. Ready?
Wow.
There you go.
Pad.
Security paddle.
It's a nice, great. It was enough, but it was enough. On
Items the G we will decide.
of course, show available for purpose with the number T26 goes down in history.
G gathering P point.
And these collab. Oh. Great. Spirit. a little bit of wobbler technique. Takes a little bit of time. Doesn't want it too floppy, but making sure things stone and one that has a connection, especially on that Volio area. Push himself top of the glass. Nice. See how it was connection of Jack. I'm pretty act stick right.
All right, what a look.
Coming up. If you guys join us,
There's our the beautiful.
It's tight. That looks like some Game of Thrones.
You got that other fork?
I got that folk. Lily.
Hi.
Pink gold. The con gold. Nice. All right.
Nice one. That's Chris Con. All the way super cool. We've got in there that you earlier is going to be into his special deal to draw the oyster.
The design.
Did you do in the middle?
No, those things are pretty idea. Show it to me. Everybody tune would be a good one. So this is for that turn me. So it looked flying wide. Then we did an hour and 50, which is nice small case with some in it. Van marble. Be the way like okay. And for a nice tall, though it's gonna because
Oh,
Draw the situation, please.
right here it is pretty too tall.
and make sure you draw the quarter link. Who's on a corner? George Washington. Yeah, Washington's on. That every.
That general.
Well, I'm going to move over a little bit to the left. Well, his pre in action.
Away.
Why won't I get too?
I'm going to put it on the left. Move over my back right side, but on the side. Oh,
Let
Yeah.
for my grab or instead of doing the Van Gogh, put light this church gold. The super swirl. Cut off the and melt. They're old K5. Then law.
Good walk. Okay.
The people. one. But I
It'd be great, like great shape. I'll shape them when they're taller. Look at him.
Next week's a charity show. We pay
So what? Dragged that clear off and sculpt on the inside, and then he so that the thin crystal color is all open.
in
The improvement.
right.
pink. Ready. Not for all colors.
So the on the spark
Precise.
nine, and remember, so that's your blood, everything, right?
I was going on a foot on, and then
You're gonna not of the foot out of bong. Got it. Do you want tree the bit? Oh,
got it right here.
you get shake thick up. You flare.
It's got some to it. We're gonna dig because some dumb. It's gonna be making.
Just walk over to the bench. Ooh. Don't worry. Everyone.
Suffering. Suffering. Coffee.
Hit. Pull it out. Getting pulled. Probably determine can't always get. It's gonna little, and then he's out with Galaxy.
Oh, but we'll
Stay.
That's
That's not who's best.
sweet. Anyways,
We got in the
certified.
quite on it. Gonna heat the re at school. Had another one on there.
Just nothing amazing. Or testing slowly, bringing it off time, smiling at it.
Giving it the love
Giving
that
it
it
all the
deserves.
love it deserves. It's so nice.
Every situation deserves a little love.
Yeah, all the situations.
All right, so I'm gonna go gather up that other bit.
Yeah, I'll do it a little bit bigger. I won't wobble around my hand. I'm contemplating using a different pair of jacks, but these ones are already hot, so we're gonna go for it.
Very, very necessary. If the jacks are not hot, they totally absorb the heat out of the piece and you have less working time, so 100% valid.
It'll be the next heat. Next heat.
Should hit it.
Thank you, Bus. All right, you guys are diehards. Thank you very much. We have half an hour left in the show. We made goblets the whole time. The full video will be on YouTube later this evening. So if it glitched and you really want to see all those fancy stems, all the talk and hubbubaloo that you missed,
Hubbubaloo?
go back and watch it again.
And we really
Hubbubaloo?
only put up, we put one goblet in the box. This is number 2, folks. So you didn't really miss much. All right, Squish.
If you're hopping back on over here, hello, hello.
Okay.
Thanks for sticking through.
There it goes, folks. Look at that tasty little pillar.
Damn.
Das Pillow.
Now
The
we're looking for an
pillar.
optically twisted, transparent, smoke gray foot.
The situation has been resolved.
Situated. Got situated. So that's on there real good. Chris did make a nice point, nice noticing point that I did cut this down a little bit tight here, the neckline, for the leverage of me opening up the foot on the bottom here. So we're just gonna have to take a look at it. We'll see how it goes. And we'll go from there.
It'll be fine.
It's always nice when you look up when you blow air into the pipe into a 400 watt LED, no, 1,000 watt LED.
Right
bulb.
into it.
Kind of hits you like a, I think it's like a
Freight train?
dodgeball right to the forehead.
Ouch.
And I always love working the optical molds.
Right up against the
I
marble.
push them so that I can walk
Oh,
there.
I see.
Safe and sound.
Maybe we'll get
So I
some.
don't trip over them when I'm going in for the camera
The
shot.
action shot. We don't need any trippage.
You're twisting it?
I'll twist it. Blow. Good. One more. Good.
So you guys catch that move?
Huh?
Chris is heating up the stem now. They made a switch. Jake's blowing up the foot to the size that he wants. Chris is bringing back the stem. Chris is going to go heat the foot. And I'm in prime position to show you how it gets attached. Right. Touches it on.
A little puff.
Aim for
Good.
center. A puff. Now it's a solid
nice.
kind of marshmallow shape.
Little marshmallowy.
Yeah, so he's going to make the hole in it, and you'll never guess how the hole is made. You'll never guess. If I didn't know what glass blowing was, if you told me that was going to happen, I wouldn't know.
Never guess.
Hey, the good part is, now that the show is back, you did not miss housekeeping. We're going to do that after this piece, and we'll have enough time to do a giveaway. Using the Sophietta tool, not the cat, although that would make a good video one day. if we brought Sophietta out here and used her tail.
Scratcher.
Yeah.
Heat your thing up here. You want to heat that up?
No, we
With
can't
a
open
torch?
that up. Can't open that up.
Why?
The bubble?
Yeah. I just wanted you to take this and stick it on there. Look.
All right, let's see what they can do. It's like surgery when you open someone up and you realize there's more stuff you want to cut out. You got to go to town. So Jake attached it on. Too much pressure, heat there, not enough heat there. There's a million reasons why, as you're working on something, that it comes
Maybe
off
neck
the
that.
pipe. That's why glass
By
blowing
the
is not
connection
cheap.
point, get it on center. Heat it deep
That's why
first.
it takes many years
Center
of
it up.
experience. And that's why
Just
you got to
angle it out, and you angle it, and you can doctor it up after we point it up. You know what I mean, with a torch.
I know everyone is back because they're talking about treachery in the comments.
Whoa! Did they see some treachery?
That one was getting away.
All right, Jake's getting himself centered again. He's feeling good. He's back in the game. Time to make the blown foot. All right, he still has the goblet top to put on. He's going to open the foot, punny it, and add the goblet top, which Chris is keeping a careful eye on in the garage,
Oh yeah, I see it. It's looking good over there.
making sure it's not getting too hot. Cranking the hole open.
There we
Goblet
go.
making 101.
That one's gonna open.
You will open.
Like that.
Sometimes you just gotta show it who's boss.
You guys hear that? He's got to show it.
That's all.
Who's boss?
You don't want the glass pushing you around.
No, listen here.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, nice lip.
Folded
Look at him
lip.
cranking it.
Whoa! I do think that's what
And
happens sometimes.
Give it the flute.
Like
When
the
you,
Italian masters, you just keep doing that.
When you pull that foot out, you'll straighten the stem out. So go flat with it first, all the way flat with the foot. And now we straighten it out. See?
Just show it who's boss.
You just did. That's awesome.
All right. I'm gonna give it some flutage,
What does that mean?
like a little bit
Trumpetage?
of trumpetage.
Nice.
Flutage, trumpetage.
That's
all the
probably about the diameter of the top of the cup too, so it's not too far, but it looks good.
Just give it a hair to match it up a
We've
little
got
bit.
a lot of brilliant saves and some heart emojis in the chat.
You're the boss. You got this, Jake.
Yep, that's the
That's
way,
cool
Jake.
looking. It's good.
You show it.
Thanks, Dad. Yep, we're showing it. That's for sure.
All right. When goblet top, they've already
Exactly.
made the goblet top. That's
You're
gonna
gonna make
come out in a
goblets, you
minute.
bring out the 4x8 piece of plywood and give it all you got.
I feel like I just pulled out like a two-handed sword from behind my head.
How about doing a Avolia with a paddle that big? It's pretty big.
Yeah, it's pretty serious.
Something was up. All right, Punty Town.
Yeah.
So my
Spin the wheel.
Sounds good.
All right, Chris is going to shape some hot glass. Jake is thinking through the next steps.
I moved the cup over to the left side. It's kind of like the chore that's done when you bring the punty.
the stick. It's only going to hold on to it temporarily. It's going to be working at this part up here next.
Okay. It's safe and sound. It's alive. Thanks.
It's alive!
It's pretty darn straight, too. So we're doing okay here. I think we're gonna go for it, probably, Dad.
All right, is the top good? All ready to go?
You're here for housekeeping.
Meow.
I got yelled at. No, she was feisty. She tried running out the door on me. She's in a playful mood. Yes, hello.
Round
telling the whole
that ball
world
out
what
on
you think?
top.
What you guys waiting for?
Just thinking.
What do you think?
So using the torch, he wants to heat up that ball. What he was giving thought to was how he was going to attach the next two pieces. If he wanted a bit between them, if he just wanted it hot. So he'll communicate his needs
time?
to Chris.
What?
Stick 'em bit.
Yeah.
It's a lot
And
of squeak
stick
in
and
there,
bit it
kid.
is. So Chris is grabbing a small
A lot of
dollop
squeak in there, kid.
of clear glass, which he's going to attach.
Yep, you're fine.
I don't know if you guys caught that move, but it was the preheating of the tweezers as well. Now Chris has the hustle where he's running over to the garage and moving that cup over, and Jake's heating up his tweezers. Chris has to be real steady with his hands so that they can add this. We'll stay there with the paddle for a second. Look at that
Yeah.
beauty!
That's a champagne glass if I ever saw a mimoso glass.
Wow. It's serious.
So you guys flip-flopped. One of you made the cup top, one of you made the foot.
Exactly.
Why are you feisty?
So this is a combo piece. Traditionally, craftsmen don't work in this way. One person will start, a different person will take over, and someone else will finish. Because they work well together, they kind of flip-flop the whole piece here, and it really became a combo piece for some of the collections that they're making going forward.
Pam can hear Sophietta and says she loves the extra commentary.
We'll show her in a second. I'm staying focused on the goblet.
We're gonna try and get it off the pipe now. No messing around. It's all on there. It's looking good.
Why are
The
you
final
feisty
step
right
is the
now, honey?
cooling process. That will happen overnight. It's going to join the other products that are in there. Even though some are thick and others are thinner, it's totally okay. We do a 12-hour cooling cycle. Should go on the bottom
Shazam!
left there. And hard to see through Chris, but
That's a honker. That's a great example of proportions right there, folks.
It looked nice.
It was pretty sweet.
You know, but you could see how quick. I mean, if you would have put, I was like going to tell you when you're doing it, make the stem a little longer. Then it would have been the lurch for sure. Would have been like, have a sip. It was big,
That was a big boy.
but it was fun.
Really
It
cool.
was nice, and it's like
Gray
you
and
know,
gold.
It's really not easy to pull those things out of a hat right here without blowing them. Normally, if Jake and I were going to blow cups or wine glasses in the Venetian style, we would plan at least a minimum of a 4-hour session where we're just blowing those the whole time and we're getting into the zone, and generally like the last 3 or 4 that we make would be the nicest. That's why you get a lot of the most beautiful Venetian glass out of long production runs of factories that produce beautiful stemware over in Italy. So yeah, I think that's almost a wrap, right? We got
going over to do housekeeping.
We got
while
some
you guys-
housekeeping to do. Maybe
Got some housekeeping.
Are we doing any type of a giveaway?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we talked
All right,
about that
beautiful.
a minute ago. Turn your mics off.
All right, we're here for some housekeeping. Sophia's giving a lot of commentary right now. She's feeling a little feisty. I'm not quite sure why.
She picked the winner, from what I understand.
Oh, did you? You ready to announce it to the world? Do we have the giveaway item?
Yes, right here.
Perfect. So Michelle's going to show off that wonderful, beautiful, fun giveaway item, that Mama Slug Bud Vase.
Mama Slug. Oh, I could take one of the flowers out, but we're short a person tonight, so I'm not going to chance it. Mama Slug.
So our question from last week, if I have it here, I do. Our question from last week was, if $12 million showed up in your account one day, what would you do with it? A lot of fun, practical answers, of course. We've got help family members with bills. I would quit my job. Give my mom some, then some other family and friends. Somebody said they would open an animal sanctuary.
Someone else said a greenhouse.
Greenhouse is fun. Somebody said they'd take a South Pacific cruise. Somebody said that they would first pay off all their debts and then take a long vacation, invest some money into retirement, and support GA. I'm going to give Sophia to Jake. Thank you.
Yes, she seems to be like having a moment.
She's having a meltdown, and I don't know why. Our winner said, pay off my debts, set money aside for my wedding, set some aside for my nieces and nephews to get when they graduate, and then travel, travel, travel in all caps.
Oh, that sounds fun.
So, congratulations to Dawn. So, Dawn, you are our winner of our fun blue slug with our googly eyes that can be turned into a bud vase if you like. You, of course, as always, will receive an email from Donna probably tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. And you can either pay for shipping or come by and pick it up if you're local. Couple things for you guys as well. Our giveaway question for this week, so you guys can start to think about it,
Oh, I didn't
is
put
if
that.
you had to be trapped in a TV show for a month, what TV show and why? I have been thinking about this all show, and I have narrowed it down to 3 shows, but I haven't been able to pick my one yet. I've got an animated category, and I've got a real person category, which I'll talk about in a minute. But next week is going to be our charity show. So with our charity show, Amy has set us up on our wheel, and we have 4 different charities that are possibilities for our charity show for next week. So I'm going to introduce all 4 of them before you spin the wheel. We've got the National Alliance to End Homelessness. We've got PAWS, which is a rehabilitation charity for injured wildlife and adopting homeless cats and dogs. We've got Best Buddies, which is a volunteer movement to create opportunities for one-on-one friendships, employment, leadership, and family support for those with disabilities. And then we've got Feeding America, which is a nationwide network of food banks and meal programs. So awesome charities Amy was able to find and pull out from those different categories. You guys gave us that show a few shows ago. So Jake is going to spin the wheel now, and he's going to let us know which charity we're going to be raising funds for next week.
It's pretty exciting. See what the deal is. And that felt pretty good.
I know.
That was a good spin.
Thank
That
you.
big spin.
Thank you very much. Best Buddies.
So we got Best Buddies, which is a charity where basically they pair up people one-on-one to help with friendship, leadership, help with employment for those with mental or physical disabilities.
That's sweet. Super cool. So we're going to have a lot more information on them. You can look them up yourself starting right now, or any time that you want in your life, to be honest. But next week, we're going to be featuring them. We'll have all sort of give backs for them. We'll talk a little bit more about them, and we'll make some brand new Uglee Vases next week. That'll be for sale. We'll be making them on the show, and if you purchase a portion of that, it's going to be going to that organization. So join us.
Michelle, you have anything to add for housekeeping for the night?
No, shout out to Ellery for the new display. Shout out to Robin. She had a molar pulled today, and she came in and got the shipping for Mother's Day all out.
Amazing.
So if you were here for Mother's Day, your heart is successfully in the mail.
It is 7:50, which means we've got about 10 minutes left. Is this a giveaway that we're possibly creating? All right.
Did you? It's been a hot minute since we've done a giveaway. Why? Because sometimes on the show we make some things and we just run out of time. We aim for 2 hours, being respectful of all your time that you set aside to watch the show. Remember, we do post the show on our website, on YouTube after the fact. So he's got 2 to 3 spins, 3 spins. So I thought
Do we know what this is yet, or is it a surprise?
This is the giveaway. Oh, you guys want to know what it is? It's going to be a little tiny wine glass.
A miniature? It's going to be
two
pretty darn
goblets
nice.
that were just made during the show, I am going to get up for you guys real quick as well if anybody is interested.
I did want to highlight a couple pieces from the table here. As Chris is working on that, I'll bring them over. Number 1 was tucked away and nestled up in the corner. But if you take a good look at this one, look at this purple flower that's been added.
I've already shown that off.
Oh, that's an absolute honey right there.
Oh, honey?
Yep,
Nice.
that's number Juan.
I'll take a little benchy blowy, honey master.
All right.
Blow.
I
Slowly.
misquoted the item earlier.
Slowlier.
This is very similar to our Galaxy wine glasses.
Keep going.
Those are featured on our drinkware
Good.
page. It's when you take a little bit of swirl and you have it be on the bottom
Puff.
of the cup.
All right.
What color do you got on there?
Adventurine.
Ooh.
The tiniest little dab.
Ooh.
All right, I'll take a stem. And then I'm going to let you put the foot on and open it up, Jake.
All right.
Both of those goblets made on tonight's show are live and available for sale on the website. I'm going to post that link for you guys.
Maybe you can use color on it, Jake, if you want.
They were both made live.
Or
I know
not.
we were having some glitching, so if you do purchase one and you want to see what the process looked like when it was totally being made, we are going to be posting that recording tomorrow.
It's a pretty sweet move. This is our kind of our classic baseline, beautiful goblet, functional, proportionate, incredible stem.
Wait a second, didn't you say wine glass?
What did I
mini
say?
Wine glass?
What did I say?
No. That's what I thought Chris said.
Yeah, what did I say?
Well, it's a goblet, so that's not a wine glass.
A goblet's not a wine glass?
Wine glass, not a goblet?
I was thinking glass.
A
is
globula glass?
like the tasting cups. You know what I mean? Like glass. You guys put it in the chat. Is it a goblet or a glass?
Put it in the chat.
Just put it in the chat.
Don't run away, paddle master.
There is no punty up.
I know, I'm trying to get some pipes up.
That's why a twist cup is perfect.
So I do have our giveaway
Hit
question
it.
up on the screen. Once again, that is if you had to be trapped in a TV show for a
Good.
month, which one would it be and why? You're going to send your answer to enews@glassacademy.com to enter to win the giveaway. If you put your answers in the chat, I love to see them. I love to hear them. It does not get you entered to win this beautiful, beautiful giveaway piece. So you have to send your answers to enews@glassacademy.com. Jake, if you had to be trapped in a TV show for a month, what show would it be?
I was thinking about this earlier, and all my favorite shows and the shows that I think it would be a cool part to be a part of, it's probably not, like, people are probably like, you don't really want to be alive during that day and age. You know, they're all like historical or like some like crazy Viking show or something
Someone
like
said
that.
Bridgerton.
That would be fun, though.
Going crystal for you.
It would be really sweet, but I'd probably also get decapitated. But I mean, hey, that's a quick death. It's better than sitting,
You just have to survive for a month.
yeah. And then come back to reality.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. I wonder how different you'd be.
Oh, I'm sure you'd be a
You
changed
know
person.
what I mean? You'd be like,
It's like the time travelers, you know? It's like,
Funny enough, the first show that popped in my head was Scooby-Doo.
really?
I never thought about being in a cartoon.
That's why I said I have shows that
Interesting.
are like animated that are in my head, and then also just like real life ones. But that was the first one, which I thought would be really fun.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Have you seen that Instagram post where the Lion King is the same as Winnie the Pooh?
Yes.
They do them side by side.
Yep.
That's good.
Now this is the right paddle for that job. Nice foot. I'm glad you put that foot on, Jake. 'Cause
That was a nice one.
I've been having issues with that footing tool.
I just had a happy hour. We did a Mother's Day wine glass happy hour, Matt and I was just telling everybody about, including, you know, everybody about the importance of dropping the correct size and shape of a foot, especially when they're clear, because when you drop a clear foot on, and you saw how Chris was super intentional. He walked over really slow. He had a slight angle to the pipe. He had the perfect amount of glass. No bubbles in that foot. And that allows me to just be able to be like, I mean, it's more than that, but I'd say putting on a foot is 50-50 teamwork, both parties to make that happen, and it's not an easy move. Now we're gonna flip it around and go right to town.
At the end of our show, we have a couple clips that come through, and one of them is the members. I want to give a shout out to the Star supporters
Perfect.
who support
Right
the
off
Glass Academy, the Loyalty League members.
Bam!
It's your contributions that make this show happen. We are not funded by anyone. We are a small private studio in Dearborn, Michigan, and we've been doing these shows since 2020.
You can open it up.
Gotta have a giveaway every week. That happens towards the end of the show. We saw housekeeping we gave away from the week before.
Yeah, and shouts out to the OGs that stuck around with us tonight with the choppiness of the show. You know, I mean, we're figuring it out, figuring it all out tech-wise, and
And sometimes it's not us. Like, that had nothing to do with us.
in the end, it is our issue, and we are going to get it figured out, folks. So stick with us and kick it with us.
Jake's
And-
gonna take Comcast down,
Yeah, I'm going to do a flying elbow right into Comcast headquarters.
and then we'll get our internet improved.
Come down on their chimney.
Yeah, they're going to get it. No, we don't want to be canceled because we're downing one of the most prominent and, you know, politically active organizations out there in this country. So we'll just stop talking about that, folks.
Yeah, that's fine. I want to remind you where you're at. You're at the Gathering Point. This is Dearborn, Michigan, family owned and operated since 2001. Every week, we're on the show doing some shenanigans, blowing some glass, and you can find us on all sorts of social platforms. If you enjoyed what you watched, let others know. Spread the word. Doesn't cost anything to have people come watch the show. It's a service that we offer for free every week.
Mr. Trimmer in the house.
What?
The choppy trimmer. That's what it looks like to you guys, but he's actually working smooth as butter right now.
Butter.
Butter!
All right, this is the giveaway. So when you're watching the show next week, you had to answer this week's question. What TV show would you be in? I believe Bess put it on there, and then you send the answer to enews@glassacademy.com. Because if you put it in the chat, we do not go back and read the full chat. We read a lot of it.
Every time I watch one of our own videos and sit down and look, I notice something that needs to be cleaned in the shop. And it's a great inspiration to keep improving the shop. I think one of the next things we'll do is maybe weld a big piece of like stainless steel metal or something that we can blast with flame and wipe down clean once a week, just like we clean the tool benches and almost everything else in here.
It's important to watch the show again.
Paper
We're editing
thin.
some of the older shows and shortening them up and cleaning them up, and they are scrappy.
Scrappy and grundly.
Yeah, but it's kind of like a house party. People don't notice the improvements until you
Look back on
you
them.
go back and look at them.
That's the truth. Yeah, this is a serious one, and it's paper thin. It's super quality. I mean, the foot's perfectly symmetrical. The stem is the perfect thickness. Pink stem, adventurine cup top. I guess it's
So-
just like if we're going to have a choppy video all night, we might as well give you guys something incredible next week. And those of you that stuck around did see the giveaway question.
It's also in the e-news, so
Little
when
Maurice,
people
little Rosetta.
when people get the email, so if you're not signed up on our email list, you can also do that.
Yeah.
If you're new to the show and you enter the contest, sending in your email answer, we'll get your email then and you'll be added to our email list. So for our old time customers, people who have been here for a hot minute, they know to answer the question in the e-news. When they get it, we do an e-news on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays that tell you what's going on in the studio.
It's delicious. That's all that is right there. Really, really tasty.
So we'll be putting the GA stamp right on the bottom of this, guys.
Why are you not signing it?
With the GA stamp, I mean on the side.
It's
Oh,
not
no,
a
no.
blown foot, it's a footing tool foot. So it's
Okay.
with the Maurice and the footing tool action, it's a really nice opportunity to stamp the bottom. It's just
That's
enough thickness and heat.
What I'm asking.
But the blown feet are typically the ones that are thin. I mean, that's pretty thin, but not worth risking it unless you're getting the biscuit. I put the stamp right there. I'll come stamp it. Woo-hoo. That's light.
Reminder to the Loyalty League members that Ugly Vase is still available on the website through that link you received in your email today. Both goblets from tonight are posted as well. Those will be up all week for those of you who are going back and watching this recording.
And if that ugly vase doesn't sell, I get to keep it.
So that was show number 267, I see.
267, and it all went down on that show. We got a beautiful display over here. Shouts out to Ellery for that. You guys can appreciate the artwork behind the artwork.
Is there some type of sentimental thing to the 12 ball, 14 ball?
Yeah.
There is?
This is how amazing all this glass would look like in your home.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew that.
Imagine going by your bookcase and grabbing the twist cup. Lots of goodies
With
here.
the 14 pool ball inside of it.
Yeah, because if you have a pool table at your house,
Exactly. I love that.
And you know it's golf season here. We got showing off our golf mug, our
Did you show 'em
classic
your
golf
golf
mug
trophies?
hitter.
No, not today.
no, we can't.
And
All
we
right,
can't.
long as you guys will have to wait till next week to see the golf trophies.
We gotta go.
All right.
All right, thanks everybody.
Beautiful
Having a good
show.
night tonight. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks to our members.